The Minnesota Vikings have a big decision when it comes to the defensive end spot, and it basically comes down to this in free agency. Do they run it back with veteran Everson Griffin, or do they pay emerging stud free agent to be Stephen Weatherly? So let's talk about today. What do you think?
Yeah.
Everson or Weatherly? Yeah, there you go. All right, so background. Steve Weatherly, 6'5", 265, former 7th-round pick out of Vanderbilt. Remember, he came in and he played like 19 instruments. Super smart, super talented dude, and has worked his way up from being a backup special teams player. Of course, Andre Patterson, Robert Rodriguez working their magic yet again on this young, physical, defensive line project. And he became a key rotational player in 2018 and even started 6 games in place of Everson Griffin when Everson missed some time that season. Came into 2019 as the third rotational defensive end, and also a new caveat came in since the Vikings couldn't generate an interior pass rush because Sheldon Richardson went away. And they tried, Hercules Mataafa, I still believe him long term. Tried with Jalen Holmes. They tried with Armon Watts, even though they didn't play him at all. Yeah. So a new wrinkle and new caveat that Steve Weatherly took on is like, oh, he's kicking inside, especially on third down. Him and Afadio Denebo became a pretty serious, nice interior pass rushing package. And 91 had a solid season overall. 31 total pressures, 20 tackles, 4 sacks, including the playoffs.
Does he actually go to that match?
Yeah. It's amazing. And also, he's followed the career arc of Vikings defensive ends before him. You look at Brian Robinson, you look at Everson Griffin, you look at Danielle Hunter. All of them were mid-round picks. And, yeah, Steve Weatherly, a late-round pick. But they worked in. They paid their dues, became a rotational piece, worked their way in to the rotation, were highly productive, did the work, and eventually became a starter. And now, make no mistake, Steve Weatherly will be a starter somewhere in the NFL next season. Now, the question is it going to be somewhere else in free agency, or will it be here with the Minnesota Vikings? And will it be here with the Vikes?
If he crashes in the hole and the hole gets bigger, the hole was smaller, they get bigger.
That would be pretty crazy. Now, I have serious doubts that the Vikings keep Weatherly and Everson just due to the cap situation, as well as positional redundancy, as well as the emergence of Afadio Odenigbo. So I don't see them paying Danielle big money, and then on top of that, Everson as well as Steve Weatherly, and then also you're sort of holding down an emerging stud in Afadio Odenigbo. I just don't really see that happening. So I think it is going to be the Vikings having to choose between Everson, the 32-year-old stud, leader, captain, the heart of this defense for a number of years, but he is aging out, or the 25-year-old up-and-coming emerging star. And I think, honestly, I'm fine either way, because we talked about yesterday how I love Everson. I think he's certainly earned another year if they decide to go that route. And also, I love the potential of Weatherly. But, I mean, you're betting on potential. Is that going to pay out $8, $9, $10 million a year? Or are you going to pay for a proven commodity, even though he is a little bit longer in the tooth? I say flip a coin at this point. I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other. I just don't really see them keeping both. But, I mean, if Rob Brzezinski is able to swing that, hashtag cap is a myth, if they are able to run it back with Everson, say on a 1-year, 2-year deal, incentive-laden possibly, even though he's certainly earned some guaranteed money, and then they keep Weatherly at a relatively low market rate, even though they are paying him at a contract year. I mean, this would have been a lot cheaper if they had signed him last offseason with 1 year remaining on his deal. But, I mean, that horse is already out of the barn. So, I'm kind of torn. If they caveat, though, is if they sign Weatherly, I think they would plant him as a starting left defensive end, shift Danielle Hunter over to right defensive end, like they did the 6 games in 2018 when Everson missed. And I think that would be really great for Danielle Hunter, just being able to rack up the number of those sacks on the blind side of the offense. But it's going to be an interesting decision coming down this offseason of essentially, are the Vikings going to keep Everson, or are they going to keep Steve Weatherly? And we'll see what happens. What do you think?
It's going to happen on this day. Carson 8.
Sure. All right, your thoughts. Stephen Weatherly or Everson Griffin, let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, put a little something in Venmo. Just give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, say production value.
Production video.
Close enough.